Jake stared at the empty spot on his bedroom wall, where a poster of his best friend Sam used to hang. It had been months since Sam moved away, and the silence in the room felt heavier than ever. The laughter they once shared echoed in his mind, but now it was just a painful reminder of how distant they had become. Jake missed their late-night talks, video games, and adventures around the neighborhood. He felt lost without Sam. Every day, Jake would check his phone, hoping for a message. Sometimes he would type a text, but he'd always delete it before hitting send. What could he say? Hey, I miss you. It felt too simple, too vulnerable. He didn't want to sound desperate, but the distance between them was growing, and he feared it would become permanent. One rainy afternoon, Jake decided to take a walk to clear his mind. He wandered through the familiar streets, the ones he and Sam had explored countless times. As he walked, memories flooded back to him. The time they built a treehouse in the park, the endless ice cream runs, and the nights spent stargazing. Each memory made him smile, but it also deepened his sadness. He felt like he was losing a part of himself. As Jake passed by a small shop, something caught his eye, a sleek, metallic pod sitting in the window. It looked unusual, almost alien. Intrigued, he stepped inside the shop. The owner, an elderly man with twinkling eyes, noticed Jake's interest. "That's a rare piece," the man said with a grin. "They say it can bring people together, no matter the distance." Jake raised an eyebrow. "Really? How does it work?" "Ah, the magic is in the connection," the man replied. "It opens doors to understanding and rekindling bonds. You just need to believe." Feeling a sudden surge of hope, Jake decided to buy the pod. It wasn't expensive, and he thought it might be worth a try. Maybe, just maybe, it could help him reach out to Sam. That evening, Jake sat on his bed, the pod glowing softly in the dim light. He carefully opened it, and a warm light filled the room. He felt a rush of energy, as if the pod was alive. He took a deep breath and closed his eyes, wishing with all his heart to reconnect with Sam. Suddenly, he found himself in a surreal landscape. It was vibrant and colorful, unlike anything he had ever seen. In front of him stood Sam, looking just as he remembered, with a wide smile and that familiar sparkle in his eyes. "Jake!" Sam exclaimed, his voice echoing in the strange realm. "I was hoping to see you." Jake's heart raced. "Sam, how is this possible?" "I guess the pod really does work," Sam said, laughing. "I've missed you too, man." Jake couldn't believe it. They were together again, even if it was just in this magical place. They sat down on a soft patch of grass, surrounded by flowers that seemed to dance in the breeze. "I've been feeling so distant," Jake admitted, his voice heavy with emotion. "I didn't know how to reach out." "I thought you were too busy with your new life." Sam shook his head. "I miss our old life too. Moving was hard, but I've been thinking about you all the time. I didn't know how to tell you." They talked for what felt like hours, sharing their fears and dreams. Jake realized that the distance didn't have to mean the end of their friendship. They could still support each other, no matter where they were. The connection between them felt stronger than ever, and Jake began to understand that true friendship could bridge any gap. As the sun began to set in this magical realm, Jake felt a mixture of joy and sadness. He didn't want this moment to end, but he also knew that he had to return to his own world. "Can we stay like this forever?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. "Not forever, but we can make this work," Sam replied, his smile reassuring. "We just have to stay connected. I'll always be here for you, and you can always reach out, no matter the distance. Let's promise to talk more, even if it's just a quick message." Jake nodded, feeling warmth spread through him. "I promise." With that, the vibrant landscape began to fade, and Jake found himself back in his room, the pod still glowing softly. He felt different, lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. He realized that he didn't need the pod to reach out to Sam. All he needed was the courage to try. The next day, with renewed determination, Jake took a deep breath and typed a message to Sam. "Hey, I miss you. Can we talk later?" He hit send, his heart racing. Moments later, his phone buzzed. It was Sam. "I miss you too. Let's video chat tonight." Jake's face broke into a smile. He felt a surge of hope. They could reconnect, share their lives, and keep their friendship alive. The distance didn't have to be a barrier. It could be a bridge to something new and beautiful. As he sat back, feeling a sense of peace, Jake knew that he had the power to keep the connection strong. No matter where life took them, he would always have Sam in his heart. And with that, he felt ready to face the future, knowing that true friendship could overcome any obstacle. Jake had gotten the pod for free, opened it, and nearly collapsed. In shock not from the magic of the device, but from the realization that he had the power to reconnect with someone he cared about deeply. He smiled, ready to face whatever came next. Jake sat on his bed, staring at his phone after sending that message to Sam. The excitement of their recent connection still buzzed in his mind. He felt a strange mix of hope and anxiety about their upcoming video chat. What would they talk about? Would it feel like old times? As the hours passed, Jake tried to keep himself busy. He tidied his room, played video games, and even attempted to read a book, but his thoughts kept drifting back to Sam. He missed him terribly. The laughter, the shared secrets, and even the silly arguments over video games felt like distant memories. Finally, the time for their chat arrived. Jake took a deep breath, sat up straight, and opened his laptop. He felt his heart race as he clicked on the video call link. Within moments, he saw Sam's face appear on the screen, and a huge grin spread across his face. "Jake, it's so good to see you," Sam exclaimed, his enthusiasm lighting up the room. "Hey, Sam. You too. I can't believe we're actually doing this," Jake replied, feeling his nerves start to melt away. The two friends talked about everything: their families, school, and the new places they had visited. Jake learned that Sam had found a new group of friends, which made him feel a little envious, but also happy. It was good to hear that Sam was doing well. But beneath the surface, Jake still felt a pang of sadness. He wished they could share those experiences together. After a while, the conversation turned serious. "Jake, I know things have changed since I moved. I miss you, man. I didn't realize how much until I saw you just now," Sam said, his expression sincere. Jake nodded, feeling a lump in his throat. "I miss you too. I thought maybe you'd forget about our friendship. It felt like the distance was too much." Sam shook his head. "Never. You're my best friend. Just because I'm not there doesn't mean I don't care. We can still stay close. We just need to make an effort." Jake felt a surge of hope. "You're right. I guess I was just scared to reach out. I didn't want to bother you. You could never bother me," Sam said, his voice warm. "Let's make a plan. We can have a regular video chat, maybe once a week, and we can play games together online." Jake's heart lifted at the idea. "That sounds awesome. I'd love that. And we can share our experiences like we used to." As they continued to chat, Jake felt a sense of comfort wash over him. The distance that had once felt so heavy was starting to feel lighter. He realized that their friendship was strong enough to withstand changes, and that they could still create new memories, even miles apart. After they ended the call, Jake felt energized. He grabbed his notebook and began to write down ideas for their next chat. They could play games, watch movies together online, and even share music playlists. He wanted to make the effort to show Sam how much their friendship meant to him. The next day, Jake woke up with a renewed sense of purpose. He decided to surprise Sam with a care package. He gathered some of their favorite snacks, a couple of funny memes they used to laugh at, and a handwritten letter. He wanted Sam to know that even though they were far apart, he was still thinking of him. As Jake prepared the package, he felt a sense of pride. This small act made him feel connected to Sam, bridging the gap that distance had created. He carefully wrapped everything and wrote, "To my best friend, from your favorite goofball," on the outside. After sending the package, Jake felt lighter. He could hardly wait for Sam to receive it. He imagined Sam's face lighting up with joy when he opened it. The thought made Jake smile. Days turned into a week, and during that time, Jake and Sam stayed in touch. They played games together, shared funny videos, and even started a book club, picking a book to read and discuss each month. Jake found that, despite the miles between them, they were creating a new routine, one that made him feel closer to Sam than ever. One evening, while they were playing a game, Jake noticed Sam's face shift from excitement to something more serious. "Hey, Jake, can I talk to you about something?" he asked, pausing the game. "Of course. What's up?" Jake replied, sensing the change in Sam's tone. "I've been thinking about how I can support you, especially with everything going on in your life." "I know it's not easy being apart," Sam said. "If you ever feel down or overwhelmed, remember that I'm only a call away. You're not alone." Jake felt a lump form in his throat again. "Thanks, Sam. That means a lot to me. I've been struggling a bit, but hearing you say that makes me feel better. I guess I just needed to know that you're—" Jake woke up with a smile on his face. After reconnecting with Sam, his heart felt lighter. They had been video chatting regularly, and he had even sent a couple of care packages filled with snacks and fun surprises. Each package brought them closer, and Jake was starting to feel more hopeful about their friendship. However, as the days passed, Jake noticed that something was missing. Despite their regular chats, he still felt a distance that was hard to explain. It wasn't just about being physically apart. It was about sharing experiences and memories in real time. He wanted to do things together like they used to. He wanted to be able to laugh together in person, to play games side by side, and to build new memories. One Saturday morning, Jake sat at his desk, staring at the computer screen. He had just finished a game where he and Sam had teamed up to defeat a tough boss. They had celebrated together over the call, but Jake still felt a tug of sadness. He missed those moments of high fives and cheers in person. Suddenly, an idea struck him. What if he could organize a trip to visit Sam? It would be a great way to reconnect and experience things together again. Jake's heart raced at the thought. He started to plan out the details in his mind. He thought about how he could convince his parents to let him go, how he would get there, and what they would do together. Jake grabbed his phone and called Sam. "Hey, I have an idea," he said, excitement bubbling in his voice. "What's up?" Sam replied, sounding curious. "I was thinking, what if I came to visit you? Like in person?" Jake said, his heart pounding. "Really? That would be amazing." Sam exclaimed, "We could go to that arcade we talked about, and maybe go hiking. I can show you around my new town." Jake felt a rush of happiness. "Yes, I'll talk to my parents and see if I can make it happen." After hanging up, Jake felt a sense of determination. He rushed downstairs to find his parents. "Mom, Dad, I want to visit Sam for a weekend. Can I go?" His parents exchanged glances. "That's a big trip, Jake. Are you sure you want to go all that way?" His mom asked. "I really want to see him," Jake replied earnestly. "We've been friends for so long, and I miss him. This could help us reconnect for real." After a long discussion, his parents agreed, but they wanted to make sure everything was safe and planned out. They helped him book the tickets and arrange for a place to stay. Jake was thrilled. The thought of seeing Sam face to face filled him with excitement. The day of the trip finally arrived. Jake woke up early, his heart racing with anticipation. He packed a small bag with clothes, snacks, and a few surprise gifts for Sam. As he boarded the bus that would take him to the train station, he couldn't help but smile. This was going to be an adventure. The journey felt long, but Jake's excitement kept him going. He imagined all the fun things they would do together. By the time he arrived at Sam's town, it was early evening. The sun was setting, casting a warm glow over everything. Jake took a deep breath, feeling a mix of nervousness and joy. When Sam arrived at the train station, Jake's heart soared. He spotted his friend waving excitedly. They rushed into each other's arms, laughing and shouting. It felt like no time had passed at all. "Welcome to my new home," Sam said, grinning from ear to ear. "I've got so much to show you." They spent the first evening catching up over pizza and sharing stories. Jake felt all the worries and sadness he had been carrying melt away. Being with Sam felt so natural, like nothing had changed. They talked about their lives, their dreams, and all the things they wanted to do together. The next day, they set out to explore Sam's town. They visited the local arcade, where they played games and competed against each other. Jake felt a rush of nostalgia as they laughed and cheered. They also went hiking in a nearby park, where they took in the beautiful views and enjoyed the fresh air as they climbed to the top of a hill. Jake paused to catch his breath. He looked at Sam, who was smiling widely, and felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. "I'm really glad I came," Jake said, feeling a deep connection to his friend. "This has been amazing." "Me too, Jake. I've missed this." "It's so good to have you here," Sam replied, his eyes shining with happiness. That night, as they settled down to watch a movie, Jake reflected on how far they had come. The distance that once felt so heavy was now a thing of the past. They had found a way to reconnect, to bridge the gap between them. "Hey, you know what?" Sam said suddenly, breaking Jake's thoughts. "I think we should do this more often. It doesn't have to be a big trip every time, but we can visit each other and keep making memories. I don't want to lose what we have." Jake nodded enthusiastically. "Definitely. We can take turns visiting and maybe even plan some fun adventures together. I want to keep this going." The two friends talked late into the night, dreaming about future trips and new experiences. Jake felt a sense of hope and excitement bubbling within him. He realized that their friendship was not just about being together physically. It was about the effort they put in to stay connected, no matter the distance. As the weekend came to a close, Jake knew it would be hard to say goodbye. But he also felt confident that this was just the beginning. They had learned to navigate their friendship in a new way, and he felt grateful for the time they had spent together. On the last day, as they stood at the train station, Jake hugged Sam tightly. "Thank you for everything. I can't wait to do this again." "Same here. Let's make it a plan," Sam replied, his smile brightening the morning. "And remember, no matter where we are, we've got each other's backs." Jake boarded the train with a heart full of hope. He had gotten the pod for free, opened it, and almost collapsed in shock, not from the magical experiences, but from the realization that true friendship can overcome any distance. They had discovered a new way to connect, and he knew they could face whatever life threw their way together. Jake settled back into his routine after his visit with Sam, but his mind often drifted back to those happy moments they had shared. The laughter, the adventures, and the deep conversations made him realize just how much he missed his best friend. However, even with the memories fresh in his mind, he felt a familiar ache of distance creeping back in. After returning home, the excitement of their weekend together began to fade into everyday life. School was busy, and Jake found himself caught up in homework and chores. He still talked to Sam regularly, but it wasn't the same as being together in person. Sometimes during their video calls, Jake felt a pang of sadness when he saw Sam. In his new surroundings, living a life that felt so far away from Jake's own. One rainy afternoon, as Jake sat at his desk, he scrolled through their old photos. He stumbled upon a picture of them at the beach, laughing and splashing in the waves. It reminded him of how carefree and happy they used to be. Suddenly, an idea sparked in his mind. What if he could create something special to remind them of their friendship and to bridge the distance? Jake jumped up and grabbed his sketchbook. He started drawing a comic strip featuring the two of them as superheroes, battling distance and obstacles. In his story, they would use their friendship as a superpower to overcome anything that came their way. Each panel illustrated a different adventure, from saving the world to simply enjoying a day at the park. He poured his feelings into the drawings, hoping to capture the essence of their bond. As he colored the final panel, Jake felt a sense of purpose. This comic could be a way to connect with Sam again. He wanted to show him how much their friendship meant and how they could always find a way to stay close, no matter where life took them. That evening, Jake finished the comic and carefully scanned each page. He sent the digital version to Sam with a message. "Hey, I made something for you. Hope you like it." Excitedly, Jake waited for Sam's response. He was a bit nervous, wondering if Sam would appreciate it. After a few minutes, his phone buzzed with a message. "Jake, this is amazing. I love it. We're like superheroes." Sam replied, his enthusiasm shining through the screen. Jake felt a wave of relief wash over him. "I'm glad you liked it. I wanted to show you that we can still be close, even if we're far apart." "I really needed this," Sam responded. "Let's plan a superhero-themed video game night soon. We can dress up as our characters from your comic." Jake's heart soared at the idea. "That sounds awesome. Let's do it next weekend." The following week, Jake prepared for their superhero night. He found an old cape and mask from a Halloween costume and set up his gaming station. He was filled with excitement, eager to connect with Sam in a fun and creative way. On the night of the event, they logged into the game together, both wearing their makeshift costumes. Jake could hardly contain his laughter when he saw Sam wearing a bright red cape and a paper mask. "You look ridiculous," Jake teased, grinning. "Yeah, but I'm a ridiculous superhero." Sam shot back, laughing. "Let's save the world." As they played, they joked and cheered each other on. They fought imaginary villains together, teaming up to win each level. It felt like old times, and Jake realized how much he had missed these moments. The laughter and excitement reminded him that their friendship was still alive and strong. After a few hours of gaming, they took a break and settled down for a more serious conversation. "You know, Jake," Sam said, his tone shifting to something more sincere, "I've been thinking about how lucky we are to have each other. Even though we're far apart, we always find a way back to each other." Jake sat at his desk, staring at the screen of his laptop. The blog he and Sam had started was growing, and he felt proud of their work. They were connecting with people, sharing stories, and inspiring others to reach out to their friends. But even with all this positivity, Jake still felt a sense of longing. He missed Sam more than ever. It had been a few months since Jake visited Sam, and while they had been keeping in touch through video chats and their blog, Jake often felt a gap between them. The excitement of their superhero night had faded into routine, and he wanted to experience more adventures with Sam in person. He missed the laughter, the shared moments, and the feeling of being together. One afternoon, As Jake was scrolling through their blog, he noticed a comment from a reader. It was from a girl named Mia, who mentioned how she had reconnected with her childhood friend after reading their blog. Inspired by their story, she had reached out and planned a visit. Reading her comment sparked something in Jake. If Mia could reconnect with her friend, maybe he could do something similar with Sam. He wanted to visit again, but he didn't know how to make it happen. His parents had been supportive of his last trip, but he didn't want to keep asking them for help. That evening, during their weekly video call, Jake decided to bring up the idea. "Hey, Sam," he said, shifting nervously in his chair. "I was thinking, what if I came to visit again? I really miss hanging out with you." Sam's face lit up with excitement. "That would be awesome. I've been missing you too. But how would you get here? It's a long way." "I don't know yet," Jake admitted. "I could try to save up some money from my allowance and maybe ask my parents again. I just want to spend some real time together, you know?" Sam nodded, understanding. "I get it. It's tough being far away. But we can make it work. I believe in you." Jake felt a surge of hope at Sam's words. If he could save up enough money, he could make the trip happen. He started to brainstorm ways to earn money. He could do extra chores around the house, offer to help neighbors with yard work, and even sell some of his old video games he no longer played. Over the next few weeks, Jake worked hard. He mowed lawns, cleaned garages, and helped his mom with cooking. He saved every dollar he could. Each time he added money to his jar, he imagined the fun they would have during his visit. He thought about all the places they could explore, the games they could play, and the laughter they would share. One day, as Jake counted his savings, he realized he had enough money for a ticket. His heart raced with excitement. He couldn't wait to tell Sam the good news. That evening, during their video chat, he announced, "Guess what? I saved enough money. I can come visit you next month." Sam's face broke into a huge smile. "No way. That's amazing, Jake. I can't wait to show you around again. We'll have the best time." Jake felt elated. Knowing he would see Sam soon filled him with joy. They started planning the trip, discussing all the things they wanted to do. They decided to visit the local amusement park, try out new restaurants, and even have a movie marathon. As the days passed, Jake's excitement grew. He counted down the days until his trip, imagining all the fun they would have together. He even created a checklist of things to bring, making sure he was prepared for every moment. Finally, the day arrived. Jake woke up early, feeling a mix of nerves and joy. He packed his bag with clothes, snacks, and a few surprises for Sam. As he left the house, he felt a thrill of anticipation. This time, things would be different. He was determined to make every moment count. When Jake arrived at Sam's town, he could hardly believe it. Everything felt so vibrant and full of possibilities. As he stepped off the bus, he spotted Sam waiting for him, waving excitedly. They ran to each other and embraced tightly. "I can't believe you're here," Sam exclaimed, his eyes shining with happiness. "Me neither. Let's make this the best weekend ever," Jake replied, grinning from ear to ear. They spent the first day visiting the amusement park, riding roller coasters, and indulging in cotton candy. The laughter echoed around them, and Jake felt like he was floating on air. Being with Sam felt so right. It was as if no time had passed since their last adventure together. As the day turned into night, they settled on a bench, watching the sunset. The sky was painted in shades of orange and pink, and Jake felt a deep sense of gratitude. "I'm really glad I did this," he said to Sam. "It feels amazing to be here with you again." "Me too," Sam replied, looking at Jake with sincerity. "You put in so much effort to make this happen. It shows how much our friendship means to you." Jake smiled, feeling proud. I realized that no distance can break our bond. We just have to keep working at it. Their weekend continued with movie marathons, game nights, and even a mini photo shoot around town. They captured silly moments and created new memories, filling their hearts with joy. Each experience reminded Jake of the importance of friendship and the effort it took to keep it alive. On the last evening of Jake's visit, they sat in Sam's backyard, surrounded by twinkling fairy lights. "I want to make a promise," Sam said, looking serious. "No matter where we are, we'll always find a way to stay connected and make time for each other." Jake nodded, feeling a warmth spread through him. "Absolutely. We're in this together, no matter what." As they gazed at the stars, Jake realized how far they had come. They had turned their feelings of distance into a source of strength. Their friendship had grown deeper, fueled by their determination to stay connected. When it was time to say goodbye, Jake felt a familiar ache in his chest. "I don't want to leave," he admitted, his voice a bit shaky. "Neither do I," Sam replied, giving Jake a reassuring smile. "But this isn't the end. We'll keep making plans, and I'll come to visit you next time." Jake felt a renewed sense of hope. The distance would always be there, but they had proven that love and friendship could overcome it. They had each other, and that was enough. As Jake traveled back home, he reflected on everything they had accomplished. He had gotten the pod for free, opened it, and nearly collapsed in shock, not from magic, but from the realization that true friendship could conquer any distance. They were partners in adventure, and together they would continue to write their own story, one filled with hope and connection. Jake returned home from his visit with Sam feeling a mix of joy and sadness. The memories they had created together were fresh in his mind, but the distance that separated them felt heavy again. He had enjoyed every moment, but as he settled back into his daily routine, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was still missing. The next few weeks were busy with schoolwork and activities, but Jake found himself often thinking about Sam. They kept in touch through their blog, sharing stories and updates, but he missed the in-person connection. He wanted to do something special to remind Sam how much their friendship meant to him. One evening, while scrolling through social media, Jake came across a post about a local charity event. It was a fun run to raise money for kids in need. An idea sparked in his mind. What if he participated in the run and dedicated it to Sam? It would be a way to show his friend that he was thinking of him and that their bond was still strong. Excited about the idea, Jake signed up for the event. He decided to raise money in Sam's name, hoping to inspire others to reconnect with friends and support a good cause. He created a fundraising page and shared it on their blog, explaining what he was doing and why. He wrote about how friendship was important and how they could use their connections to make a difference in the world. The response was overwhelming. Friends, family, and even some of their blog followers started donating. Jake felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. Each donation brought him closer to his goal, and he felt inspired by the support he received. As the day of the run approached, Jake trained hard. He practiced running every day after school, pushing himself to go further and faster. He imagined Sam cheering him on, just like they used to do for each other during their friendly competitions. The thought motivated him to keep going. Finally, the day of the charity run arrived. Jake woke up early, feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness. He put on his running shoes, decorated his shirt with a message that read, "Running for Friendship," and headed to the event. He felt proud to be participating for such a meaningful cause. When Jake arrived at the park, he was amazed by the crowd. People of all ages were there, wearing colorful shirts and smiling. It felt like a celebration of community and connection. He spotted a booth where they were handing out ribbons with the names of the kids they were supporting. Jake picked one, up with the name Emily written on it, feeling a sense of purpose as the run began. Jake took off with the other participants. He felt the adrenaline rush through him, and soon he settled into a steady pace. With each step, he thought about Sam and the adventures they had shared. He imagined Sam running alongside him, encouraging him to keep going. Halfway through the race, Jake started to feel tired. His legs ached, and his breath came in quick bursts. But then he remembered why he was running. He thought about all the kids who would benefit from the money raised and the importance of friendship. He pushed through the discomfort, determined to finish strong. As he approached the final stretch, Jake saw a group of people cheering at the finish line. Among them, he spotted a familiar face. It was Sam. He had come to surprise Jake and his